Welcome to Trading Nation. I'm Eric Chemi, and joining me is Bill Lee, head of North America Economics at Citigroup. Bill, there seems to be a lot of optimism about the year ahead. Are we getting ahead of ourselves?
Absolutely. There's a lot of hope and prayer out there. I think the markets have gotten way ahead of themselves in terms of their pricing for perfection. A lot of the things that we are anticipating to come from the Trump tax reform package and what little infrastructure we might get probably won't hit until 2018. And in fact, the markets have reacted so much now that with the stronger dollar and higher rates, we've actually marked down 2017 growth to about 1 3/4 rather than over 2%.
Do you think the biggest risks right now are more on the fiscal side or on the monetary side?
Monetary policy is really on hold right now because everyone's trying to figure out exactly what the fiscal contour is going to look like. Our best guess is that there's going to be a positive fiscal impulse that stimulates the economy, but with all of the haggling that's going to go on in Congress, that probably won't hit until 2018. And between now and then, we will likely get some repatriation of the foreign profits, and that may help catalyze some good stuff in the equity market in terms of the increased profits coming in, and that'll give the government some revenues to try to pay for some of the infrastructure and lower tax rates that they're trying to put in place.
So if you're thinking we've got a little bit more risk to the downside next year, where are the biggest surprises? Are those surprises still on the downside, or is the surprise actually that we do a little better than you're thinking?
I think the surprises are in the commentary that everyone is being set up for by the market commentators right now. Everyone keeps talking about the massive fiscal stimulus program, and quite honestly, no Republican representative ever says fiscal stimulus. They all talk about tax reform. And remember, Congressman Ryan was elected on the premise of smaller government. That is, they're part of the party that says we want to limit the size of government. We want to limit the revenue loss that comes from lower tax rates. We want to somehow close off the loopholes. What does that say to you? It doesn't say fiscal stimulus. It says we're going to reshape the tax program. There may be some better stimulus coming about because of lower regulatory enforcement and some of the other things that are being talked about in the Trump program. And the fears of trade wars, I think, are way overblown. So I think that may be some positive element to the surprise. But all in all, the commentators have gotten way ahead of themselves because essentially they've taken the textbook example. Oh, fiscal stimulus means more GDP growth. But unfortunately, they haven't gone to Econ 201 where we say the timing of fiscal policy matters, and the timing is going to be further out than you think.
Well, that's just what I was going to get into with you, is where do you think all the watchers, the commentators are missing it? Is it in the timing? Is it in the stimulus part? What's the one thing, if you had to pick just one, this is what people are getting wrong and they're not really putting it together properly?
Everyone is sprinkling around the word infrastructure like some fairy dust, like somehow infrastructure is going to make the world better. Yes, it could, but not the kind of fiscal infrastructure spending that President-elect Trump is talking about. He is talking about private sector's financing of infrastructure investment, and that's mainly associated with toll roads and toll bridges. I mean, I should ask our audience, how many toll roads and toll bridges are there in the United States? Less than 1% of all roads. So if we're going to be building more toll roads, right, that's going to make a minor dent into the needs of the infrastructure rebuilding that we really do need. And also, people have forgotten that a lot of the state and local governments who have to come up with some matching financing to get some of this federal money, many of the state and local governments are not in good shape. It's going to be hard for them to raise even the revenue that's needed to draw down what's allocated to them. Remember what happened in 2009 in President Obama's infrastructure program, where he had all these so-called shovel-ready projects. After the first year of that program, less than a third of the allocated money was drawn down.
Bill, this obviously could start a whole nother conversation. We probably have to save it for next year. I love getting the sprinkling fairy dust as one of the phrases in your answers. That's how we know it's almost the holidays. So, Bill Lee from Citigroup, thanks for joining us here on Trading Nation.
Thanks for having me.